back to the District Dish. I could not be more pleased and excited to have as our guest on this segment one of my dearest friends and past colleagues, Lacey Kirstein.
She just taught us how to say your name, so that's why we're all saying it over and over.
Kirstein. Of Lacey K Shoes. Yeah, she is one of my dearest friends, and obviously I've been pronouncing her last name incorrectly or something since I've known you. But in any case, we are so happy that you're here,
yes,
Miss Fashionista.
Thank you for having me.
Shoe designer.
I have to chime in as a third-generation Washingtonian in terms of the transient transplants, and the rule of thought is that as a third-generation Washingtonian, my grandparents were born and raised here. My mom went to W&L in Falls Church, and she actually danced with
Senator Warner. John Warner?
Where did that come from? I don't know. That's who she would like to dance with. So I guess that's
Mark
coming
Warner,
out.
not John Warner. But.
She danced with Shirley MacLaine.
Oh, wow.
And went to school
That's
with
great. That's amazing.
her brother.
Wow.
We all know.
Cool.
Anyway.
So you're a true Washingtonian.
So many things we didn't know about you.
Yes.
A true Washingtonian. I would say we were all true Washingtonians because of the amount that we love DC.
After 10 or 12 years, you become a true Washingtonian. That's the rule of thumb.
Exactly.
I have 6 more
That's
years.
good.
I've got a couple more years too. Yeah. But you've been working on your business for a couple of years.
I have.
So
it's over 2 now. Over 2.
I can't believe
But
that.
ironically, speaking of business and the way that DC has changed, where my private school was when I was little, there's now an Hermes, Gucci, a Louis Vuitton, and a Red Door Salon and Spa.
Oh, right
Fairfax,
by Tiffany.
Oh, in
Tiffany's,
Fairfax Square.
Fairfax Square,
Exactly.
Womble,
Place.
Carlisle. So
Yeah.
So you
That
have
used to be
seen
a dirt road.
firsthand how fashion has been changing in this city.
yeah, we won't talk about age, but yeah, I've seen a lot of change.
And you're really a part of it, though. You're really a part of it. I mean, you are one of those local, and so is Ebong,
Right.
one of those local fashion designers that are really changing the face of fashion here in the city.
Right.
How'd you?
My oyster is the world, obviously, but
Good.
but it emanates from me, obviously. So.
Well, tell us the
us about
story. Tell us the
Okay.
story of Lacey K Shoes.
You've probably all heard this ad nauseum, but
No, never.
I am a
Audience has not.
frustrated, narrow-width woman who my entire professional life has been looking for stylish, fashionable shoes, chic, stylish options. So after years and years of not finding anything other than a very conservative, very safe, very unflattering shoe, I decided, you know what, I'm totally throwing my hat in the ring. I'm making my own. This is absurd that they're not catering to my needs. These manufacturers, designers are neglecting us. But then I found out after I did some market research that women who wear narrow and women who wear wide width shoes are also neglected. They're both neglected. If you wear a medium, you're made in the shade. All the designers and manufacturers cater to you, and you have a just infinite amount of choices. But if you wear a narrow and wide, you can tell I'm a little too passionate about this.
Never.
Then you don't have many options.
Like me, I have a wide foot. Anyway, sorry, continue.
So I decided to throw my hat in the ring. And
Or your feet in.
I decided to step into that world.
it. Yeah.
And then I figured, I'll serve the women who have been neglected for all these years, frustrated women with narrow and wide feet who have been neglected all these years, and then at the end of the day, like in 3 to 5 years, the designers, manufacturers who didn't want to fill that very, very unmet, untapped niche can compete head-to-head or by me. So.
Right. Well, now your shoe name, the names for your shoes, and they're beautiful styles. I own several of them.
Actually, Pamela and I both own
Yes.
these.
Which is the
Paris.
The Paris. So tell
And I
us
love like
wearing
Cosmo
around.
Python, metallic Cosmo Python.
what was your inspiration, Lacey? Because the names of your shoes are like Paris, Milan.
I love to travel.
You love to travel. Okay.
Shameless, I know, but
And you fit all of these pairs of shoes in a suitcase and you go traveling around, right?
With nothing else but shoes.
in an ideal world, yes, yes.
And a suitcase.
We're the same thing every day, but you change your shoes.
That's right.
Right. Well, exactly. And in this new altered economy that's horrendously
Yeah. How has your business been
desperate
affected?
economy,
Right.
not so much. Again, my entire target market is the entire globe. So
Right.
with the advent of Google AdWords and other venues, I'm not looking to be in, nothing against DC shoe buyers, but I'm not looking to just be in DC boutiques and department stores. I'm looking to be all over the world.
Very similar.
Because, yeah,
But you have
with
done,
the advent of technology.
you have done an incredible job of marketing yourself to the fashionable people of the city and becoming really involved in charitable events here in the
Right.
city. I know that both both of you and your lines were both recently featured in the Luke's Wings fashion show that was held at L2 last week. How did you become involved in that, and do you do a lot with charitable events throughout the city?
I didn't attend. Ebong can probably speak to
Your
it, but
shoes
my
were
shoes
definitely-
were on the runway.
They look
and
lovely. They look lovely. Their shoes were amazing. Some of the other guest models were wearing a lot of your shoes, and they was like, I love these shoes. They fit so well. It was absolutely amazing. I also had some of my designs as well, my menswear designs as well, and Lacey and I have very similar. I remember at the Advent when she first started this, and so it's phenomenal to see her actually from where she started to where she is now, because I've used her. I've done the same thing. I've actually emulated her. I mean, it's amazing because I remember we talked about when you first started doing this, and the sleepless nights and staying up and 3 in the morning and working. I never really knew how long it would take and what it would take to get there.
Yeah.
But I'm so enthralled to have you here.
We both started like super high end, because that's kind of the thing. You have to start like super high quality. I started with a ridiculously expensive Gucci factory out of Italy. But and I was lucky, just total happenstance, connections, what have you. But we both started very high end, because that's where you establish a brand following and you establish brand equity, and then you can slowly trickle down. And
Right. Well, I certainly, as someone who is very involved with a lot of different host committees and charitable events in town, we really appreciate your donations,
Absolutely.
your continuous donations for all the different great causes, all the different wonderful
happy to do
events.
so.
Furthermore, we're very excited that most of these events have to do with fashion and
Right.
promoting
Right.
fashion and promoting how wonderfully
right.
fashionable and stylish this city is.
Exactly.
There have been several others this week
Right.
too.
Let me add one more thing real quickly with the Luke's Wings fashion show that we both were a part of, and all of us have been a part of in some capacity. Kate actually was the MC and did a wonderful, phenomenal
We had a
job.
great time.
And just real quickly, Luke's Wings is a charity that actually provides. We talked about it, I think, in the last segment. Last webisode, where Luke's Wings. What Luke's Wings does is they provide funds for transportation for the family of wounded soldiers and warriors who are staying in Walter Reed and Bethesda Naples. So whatever help we were able to raise a lot of money and do a great thing and actually do rather well at that particular point in time last week.
in my humble opinion, we cannot do enough to thank those men and women who serve our country and protect our freedoms every day. And that's the very least that we can do, because they're getting not only massive head injuries, but arms and limbs blown off just to protect our freedoms and to protect our homeland. So we owe them a debt of gratitude, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely, all of us agree.
Absolutely.
All of us agree.
We definitely agree.
We talk about the Heart Ball.
Oh, yes. Well, there were a couple of different events that I attended this past week, one of which was held here at Teatro Goldoni. It was the Monte Carlo night, Model Appreciation Night for
I was
speaking
here
of fashion.
with you, and that
Yes,
was when
right?
Pamela was the MC for that.
right.
So we've been trading off MC
Fashion
duties.
for
We were all
Cause,
here
March
as well,
28th,
yeah.
The Italian Embassy. And then Friday night, I went to Crystal Couture, where I emceed Foxy Fabulous for the Crystal City bid.
Wanted to come and see you, but honestly,
You had your own thing going
so
on.
excited about Crystal Couture, but it was a little bit lengthy. 2 weeks, I think, is a long
Yeah.
time for people. I
is long.
I very much did like the fact that they had a different
event, a different theme.
every night, a different theme every night. So one day was cocktails, one day was animal prints, which
Right.
was the night that you were talking about. But
Exactly.
it was a great idea.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
suggestion for the future: shorten it just a
Shorten it.
little bit.
Yeah.
That seems to be the something we hear a lot lately too. But
Yeah. And then the Heart Ball was Saturday night, so that was fantastic out in the Ritz and Tyson's Corner. And yet another wonderful black tie event to attend. But we have a lot more to talk about in our next segment.
so don't go away. Come right back. The District Dish.